This now moves us into section 5, which is called what I call simply the decision-making process. So it's taking that information, the work we've done in the competitive set, the work we've done in the unique hotel features, destination features, and trying to dump that into that framework and strip it back to a core list of maybe 10 or so unique features. I then want to take you through a process to score these, to more actively or more methodically score them and justify why they would be better than another. So the easiest way for me to do this is to show you the template that I want to use. So I've put along the top there in the green the unique strengths. So in that top there, I've got some examples in there now, but this is from the list on the previous framework. You want to populate them through into there. So if you decided to keep hotel facility or comfy bed as one of your unique strengths, you need to put it across the top there. So first thing is we go through and we put in those, what I've allowed for half a dozen there, but we can certainly insert more if you need to test and measure. The goal is we want to narrow this down to 3 or maybe 4, but we're going to do it using some maths to test these unique strengths. So across the top of your unique strengths we've identified so far. On the left, well, I've got some criteria that I think you should be measuring against. You can also pull some others in there, and if you do the exercise once, you may want to come back and do it again with some new criteria, but maybe just start doing it with the factors that I've put in there for now. So this is a weighted factoring that we put in here. So you can see there in the grey column the weighting. I've just put a suggestion down there that, the idea is here we're going to test these strengths against the 4 areas of your ability to market and promote it. So if you're going to say, I've got the best, most comfy beds, what is your ability to actually get that messaging out there? All right, and so in this instance, I've put a weighting of 30 out of 100 against that. So you can adjust these if you wish, but it basically needs to add up to 100 at the bottom. So your ability to market and promote something is really important, I feel. The emotional appeal to the consumer is really important. So if we're going to talk about a unique feature, it needs to have emotional appeal to move them into a buying or a booking decision. The third thing is practical fit. So that is more, I guess, does it suit their needs? Is it working with, it's near the location I want to be at. It is right near the convention centre. It provides twin share accommodation, and that's what I'm looking for. Or it provides family accommodation, or it's an apartment. So is there a practical fit? I've put a 15 against that. And then there's budgetary fit, because we all know market can be quite price sensitive. So I'll put a weighting of 30 against budget fit, but feel free to play with those. Now here's where you take it forward. I've already pre-populated the first column, whatever your first unique strength there is. What we do, we call it the benchmark. So don't think about it. All you do is literally score it at the midpoint. So if the weighting's 30, you score it at 15. And if weighting's 25, you score it at 12.5. So that you've already scored one of your unique strengths, but that becomes a benchmark for everything else. And now you score horizontally across it. So we go through and score all your unique strengths for emotional appeal. I'm going to use emotional appeal as the example. So if we scored the hotel facilities at 12.5, and then the next thing is experience, how can we promote the experience in the hotel? Does the experience in the hotel have more emotional appeal or less than the hotel facilities? Off the cuff, experience for me would have a higher emotional appeal than hotel facilities, hard facilities. So I would score that up to maybe 15 or 18 or something like that. And then I work across and I go the quality of the product. The quality of my product, and I'd get specific about that. I put that item there, and again I benchmark it back against. I go, well, how does that rank against? Is it somewhere between experience and hotel facilities, or is it above or below the lot? And you just keep benchmarking as you go along. And the idea is you go through each row, score each row out one at a time, and the numbers at the bottom spit out the result. Now it's not set in stone. It's just a mathematical equation for you to logically think about these things, measure them, and see some scores pop out. Here's the key tip. When you see the scores pop out at the bottom, don't worry about going back and adjusting them if they don't feel right. It's the feel right that I'm looking for. If you go and people and personality scores the highest, and you go, but hang on, I really got some question marks over my staff at the moment. I think our current staffing level is a bit undercooked. I don't know whether I want to go to market with that. So if your immediate reflex and instinct goes, oh, that doesn't feel right, that's what I'm looking for. What feels right? Because the score helps you actually test it in your brain. The score goes, ooh, yes, that feels right. No, that doesn't feel right. And from that, that'll help you identify your top 3 or 4 unique features. And it's with those top features that we take the messaging forward with. I'm hoping that makes sense to you all. But that's the decision-making process in section 5 of this module before we move in to the next, which is actually where we get into writing your actual story.